Hey, welcome D-Lab everybody. This weekend on the bench I've got a 1967 Fender Twin Reverb amp. This amp has previously been worked on, and I'll show you that on the inspection phase, but the owner now is complaining that when he strikes a certain note he gets kind of a rattle and a vibration sound, and he's got noise that intermittently appears on channels. Reverb is cutting out. Tremolo works when it wants to. Should be a good one. So what I'm going to do is inspect it, then we'll pop in the tubes, put her on the scope, and see if we can find the sources of sensitivity. Here we go. Alright, let's give the Twin an inspection. Already popped off the capacitor cover. It's laying over here. You can see she's been recapped. Whoever did it did a great job. The only thing I noticed is on these 9-pin tube sockets there is a little bit of corrosion, but I might be able to clean that out with a little bit of deox. So let's take a look underside, and then I need to power this thing up and see what's going on. Okay, bottom side inspection. She looks pretty clean. Looks like the electrolytic caps and a few other components on the eyelet board have been replaced, but everything else looks pretty much stock. One thing I did notice, go back over here to the output tubes, got these 470 ohm screen resistors. This one does not look as though it is soldered. It looks like the lead pokes through, but the solder didn't take. So I'm going to touch those up. We'll pop in the tubes and give her a test. Alright, I got the tubes installed, fired up the amp, no flames. Using a speaker right now just so I can hear anything that's going on out of the ordinary. So my volumes are all the way down. Obviously reverb and tremolo is not in use at this time. I'm just going to do my famous tap test. So far she's really quiet. But he said whatever it was, it would come and go. It's kind of intermittent. So the eyelet board itself is pretty quiet. Let's just go down the tube sockets themselves. Just kind of push wires around a little bit. Once again, everything's pretty quiet. So sometimes, you know, because Fender just pushes those wires through the tube pins, they'll be a little loose, like that one. Hear that? I'm just barely touching these leads. So there's a little bit of sensitivity right here on the fourth tube. We'll have to inspect that. It seems to be the one in question. I'm going to tap on the tubes themselves. Because the tubes that are installed, all the preamp tubes are a no-name 12AX7. I don't know where they're made. Usually they'll cause problems. Got a little bit of a rumble here. Bring up the volume slightly. There's a little bit of rumble on this lead. It happens to be a plate lead going to the second 12AX7. But I have to give her a little bit of volume for it to happen. That appears to be a bad connection. So I have some things to look at here on those tube sockets. And during my inspection I did see a little bit of corrosion in a few of them. So we'll look at those real close, clean the sockets, and retest. So the next thing I need to do is check tremolo and reverb. Okay, I got my audio generator set up as an input. So first we'll just check the tremolo. I'll put a jumper in there to flip him on. Bring it up a little bit. She's working. Let's check the speed. That speed is pretty fast. But he said it was kind of intermittent. Turn that down so I don't drive me nuts. So the tremolo is operational. Could actually be his foot switch. How about reverb? Let's take a look at that. Turn off tremolo. And here's reverb. She's working. So once again, if you have an intermittent reverb, it could actually be the tank, especially if it's the original tank. I've seen that quite often too. So at this point, reverb and tremolo are working. The thing I don't like about the tremolo is you hear that little tick, 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 tick. I've got the little fix for that. I'll go ahead and put in that cap, check the connections, and maybe change one of the caps in the speed circuit to kind of slow it down a little bit. I mean, that thing's really moving, isn't it? Here's a plan for the tremolo circuit. This is not my design, okay, but I have this information and it shows you how to slow down the tremolo and to cure the tick tick. So I'm going to make that change, which is just 2 caps, okay? Then I have some connections in here I want to inspect, because there was definitely some sensitivity on the preamp tubes. So I'll take care of that and we'll retest. Those 2 yellow caps are the tremolo fix, and I also replaced a few out of tolerance resistors and touched up a few bad connections that I spotted on the tube sockets. So let's check it again. Okay, here we go. Let's check out the tremolo circuit. There's my input. And I've got the jumper on. You see our speed is slowed down quite a bit. So that appears to be working. I'm kind of wondering about this intensity. It really doesn't seem that deep on the tremolo. Could be a frequency issue. Let's see. I don't know. I think I'll investigate the intensity. But the tremolo is running, so that's a good sign. Let's see how our reverb is. Yep, reverb appears to be good. So I'm going to check the resistors that are associated with the tremolo, clean these pots, clean the tube sockets, and I'm going to let this thing cook. Alright, so far it looks like the repair of this twin reverb is going to be pretty minor. I haven't found anything majorly wrong. It's already been recapped. Tubes appear to be new, even though some of them are a no-name brand, but they seem to work and they're quiet. Alright, but I did notice on the preamp tube lineup that there was 5 12AX7s and only 1 12AT7. There should have been 2 12AT7s, one for the reverb driver, one for the inverter. So let's say that there was an AX in the place of that reverb driver tube. That could have definitely made it suffer in performance. So I went ahead and lined it back up the way it should be with the 2 12AT7s. And the other thing I found, of course, there's many out of tolerance resistors, especially the 2 plate resistors going to the inverter tube, the 82K and the 100K. You can just look at them. They're always sweaty. They're like, I'm out of tolerance, change me. So I did that. So at this point, I'm going to have to just let it cook and see if these other problems he described come up. After that, I'll get my buddy over here and let him give it the acid test. Alright, a little side note here I need to pass on to you guys. The owner actually sent his pedal with the amp. He was complaining about intermittent operation of the reverb and tremolo. Guess what? Both of the switches on this pedal were worn and not working properly. So I put in new switches, and I also found that the center conductor here, the white wires going into these RCA jacks, actually had fraying and they were shorting to the shield. So this guy was probably the main culprit. Good thing he sent it. Okay, I've got the Twin on the bench. It's been cooking for a few hours. I keep monitoring it for noise. There's none. She's dead quiet, which is a great thing. Those no-name preamp tubes that I talked about turned out to be Sovtex. So that's cool. All the tubes in this are name brand. Okay, my mistake. We got Sovtex in the preamp, JJ6L6s in the output. I've got Tony Kuzmano here. He's going to go ahead and give it his acid test, but I believe that the Twin is good to go.
Actually sounds pretty good, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
man. It's a 1967 Twin Reverb.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I think it's the original owner, too. Giving those Celestians a workout. Yeah, man.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Hard to believe it sounds that good with them.
I know it's got those no-name tubes, man, but they're working.
Just a good amp.
Yep. Cool.
It could sound, I bet it's put some good tubes in it, man, it'd really come to life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah, good job, man. Thanks.
Rolling?
Yeah, man, we're rolling. Ship it?
Ship it. It's got the normal channel, beautiful magic that some of these amps have. This one's got it. It's
All right.
beauty.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.